Here's something you've probably done this week. You went to an AI chatbot, you asked it a question, it gave you an output, you copied that output, pasted it somewhere, and then you did the rest of the work on it from there yourself. That last part is the part I want to talk about. A chatbot is a conversation. You ask, it answers, and everything after that is your job. An agentic tool is a little bit different. You can ask a question, but then you also give it access to your local files, and it's able to actually go and execute things on your behalf. The shift is small to describe, but it's really big in practice because with agentic tools, you stop being the person that's carrying the task from one step to the next. Claude Cowork is the easiest platform to see this in action. So let me show you. So here's a folder on my computer with some files from a workshop that I just wrapped up. You can see here I've got some facilitator notes in text file format. I've got registration information in a CSV. I've got an exit survey file with some information from the exit survey in a CSV. And I've got an email from a supervisor who's asking for a summary of information from this workshop. You can see that even we have some disorganized elements like session 2 being indicated as final with a 2 behind it. So this is nothing out of the ordinary. I mean, this is how files often end up looking within our day-to-day work. With a tool like Cowork, what I can do is I can actually point Cowork at that specific folder that we were just looking at that contains all the files that I want it to work on. I'm going to choose the workshop feedback folder and select it. So now here's the request that I'm going to give it pointed at that folder. It says, read everything in this folder and write me a one-page summary for the department chair. What worked, what needs fixing, plus a spreadsheet of the survey ratings so I can see the numbers. Okay, I'm going to send that request to Cowork, and now we're going to watch it actually go to work. You can see here it's executing some bash scripts. This is basically Cowork doing what it needs to do to interpret the files that are in that folder. And you can see over on the right-hand side, Cowork has actually put together a step-by-step plan for how it's going to go about fulfilling my request. And as it's going through those steps, you will see them actually check off to indicate that it completed those steps. It's important to note that at this point, my hands are off the keyboard and off the mouse. Cowork is doing all of this autonomously. Now here you can see it finished its work. You can see it reports back on the work that it did. Over here on the right-hand side, we can actually see the spreadsheet that it put together. And you can see it mentions 2 files that it created. If I go open that folder that we had open earlier, you can see that we now have 2 brand new files that were not there before. We have the survey results spreadsheet, which Cowork currently has displayed for us. And we also have the Word document of the summary that we can send back to the chair. So 3 things happened here that makes an agentic platform like Cowork fundamentally different from a chatbot experience. Number 1, it gained access to all of the files that it needed from just looking at one directory rather than me giving it pieces of files one at a time. It was able to execute a dozen or more tasks sequentially in order to fulfill the request that I gave it, and it did that fully autonomously. And it came back with a finished result in which it actually wrote and saved files to that directory for me to go and access. So as you can see, tools like Claude Cowork are incredibly powerful. And as you start using these agentic tools more and more, you're going to discover a ton of opportunities for how they can augment the work that you do. But that's the key there. This isn't a replacement of you. This is an augmentation. You need to be thinking about what kinds of data and context need to be given to the agent to do its job. You need to be thinking about what kind of a request do you want to provide to the AI so it can do its job effectively. You need to have oversight in how it's doing that work to make sure it stays on the rails. And when it gives you an output, you need to validate that output because ultimately you're the one who's going to be accountable for what it creates. There's still a ton of responsibility that comes with using these tools, but used effectively, they can be a tremendous force multiplier in your productivity. So that's Claude Cowork. I hope this video was helpful. If you have questions, feel free to reach out. Thanks for watching.